packages in the kitchen floor. Microwave sparks if it's on a show. He grabs a fuse box down by the door. Which one's a ticket? He's not really sure. Checking every circuit, it's a plastic game. Wishing that the labels made it less insane. All the scrambling wrecking his brain. Max voltage struggles are anything but plain. Fumble in the dark looking for a clue, hoping he won't blow the whole place through. Sat down to dinner but it all went cold. A microwave's power can be so bold. Be so bold. Checking every circuit, it's a plastic game. Wishing that the labels made it less insane. All the scrambling rocking his brain. Max voltage struggles are anything but plain. Fingers crossed and holding his breath tight. Will he hit the jackpot or kill the night? Could have called a pro, but he's too proud. Max voltage fights to lift the blackout cloud. Checking every circuit, it's a plastic game. Wishing that the labels made it less insane. All the scrambling wrecking his brain. Max voltage struggles are anything but plain. Looking for a clue, hoping he won't blow the whole place through. Sat down to dinner, but it all went cold. A microwave's power can be so bold, and be so bold. Fingers crossed, I'm holding his breath tight. Will he hit the jackpot or kill the night? Could have called a pro, but he's too proud. Max voltage fights to lift the blackout cloud. Checking every circuit, it's a plastic game. Wishing that the labels made it less insane. All the scrambling wrecking his brain. Max voltage struggles are anything but plain. Max voltages in the kitchen floor. Microwave sparks if it's on a show. He grabs a fuse box down by the door. Which one's a ticket? He's not really sure. Checking every circuit, it's a plastic game. Wishing that the labels made it less insane. All the scrambling wrecking his brain. Max voltage struggles are anything but plain. Fumble in the dark looking for a clue, hoping he won't blow the whole place through. Sat down to dinner but it all went cold. A microwave's power can be so bold, be so bold. Checking every circuit, it's a plastic game. Wishing that the labels made it less insane. All the scrambling wrecking his brain. Max voltage struggles are anything but plain. Fingers crossed and holding his breath tight. Will he hit the jackpot or kill the night? Could have called a pro, but he's too proud. Max voltage fights to lift the blackout cloud. Checking every circuit, it's a plastic game. Wishing that the labels made it less insane. All the scrambling wrecking his brain. Max voltage struggles are anything but plain. Looking for a clue, hoping he won't blow the whole place through. Sat down to dinner, but it all went cold. A microwave's power can be so bold, and be so bold. lost him holding his breath tight. Will he hit the jackpot or kill the night? Could have called a pro, but he's too proud. Max voltage fights to lift the blackout cloud. Checking every circuit, it's a plastic game. Wishing that the labels made it less insane. All the scrambling racking his brain. Max voltage struggles are anything but play.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. I'm going to turn this mic down just, well, maybe not. I'll just stay a little further away from it. Yeah, let me turn it down just a little bit. I don't know what it is about this mic, but it seems to want to change. I don't want to lock the volume. I want to be able to adjust the volume. There we go. Hope you guys are having a good Super Bowl Sunday. I'm having a good day, been having a good weekend, trying to figure things out as far as projects and videos and things like that. So I've been making a few changes to the way I'm doing things, which should lead to more videos. Already has, but one every 2 weeks. I wouldn't exactly call a lot of videos at this point. But I'll go through some of the changes I'm going to be making, which should help to produce videos a little faster. Not even so much faster, just with less work. So I'll go into that in a little bit, but let's see who is here to start out. We have Burn, Rudputs, Vinny Del Greco, the Mr. Red Panda Mining, sir, Cook 4015, and Automatic Beats. Don't know how to say that, but I'll say VLCACZ, Steven Cicero. Who else? I know I saw a few more people. Bacon, Eggs, and Hash. Ka Valley Crypto. Team JFK. Hash Rico. Shides. Geek of all trades, who is going live tonight. Well, you're going live tonight, right, Geek? And have you figured out a time exactly when you're going live? Let us know. Sox Fan 96. And of course, the infamous Sunflower Mama is by my side today. And that is everybody so far. I know it's a little bit of an odd time. Didn't want to stream during the Super Bowl, not because I'm going to watch it. I just figured I wouldn't have as many viewers being at a different time. But I don't know, this is usually Red Panda's time. So I thought maybe I'd pick up some people there. I don't know. I just didn't want to be doing it during the Super Bowl. And I figured if I did it tomorrow, at either 10 or 11, I thought for sure, yeah, I wouldn't have as many people because people are working. So decided to do it now. We'll be back to the regularly scheduled time of Sunday night, next week. That was my way of my body telling me I needed coffee. All right. So, things we're going to be talking about today. I'll talk a little bit about the things I've been doing for the channel, as well as, which you haven't obviously seen much in the way of results with, a little bit you've seen, but that as well as the things that I'm going to be doing. We're also going to talk about the 50, 80, 50, 90 fiasco. I don't think it's quite gone to a clusterfuck yet, but I don't know. We might be getting close. Right now, I'll just call it a fiasco. Anyway, there's another word in there that I'm drawing a blank on. What was do you remember what the other one was? It's a military term. Fubar? Fubar, yes. See, it's like fiasco to fubar to cluster. That's the progression. It's science. I've looked it up. So anyway, at least somebody says that's what it is. I'm sure it's not science. But yeah, so we'll go over that as well as going over, of course, the market. Interesting things happening there. But let's talk, because people are still coming in, I'll talk about the channel first. Bohica. Got it. I like that one. But where does that one fall in the progression? Would that be after Fubar or before Fubar? Let me know. Let me know. I hadn't heard that one before, but I like that. Yeah. No. Well, I mean, the Super Bowl is broadcast worldwide. It is. But I know a lot of people don't care. But I figured there would be enough people that would. Not so much because they cared about the football game, but because people go out to parties and have a good time. And whether or not they're watching the football game or not. So that is why I decided to do it. All right, let's talk a little bit about the channel. So I'm sure you could tell from the videos that I've been producing, I've been using a teleprompter, which I need to get better at to make it not look like I'm reading a teleprompter. Right now, you can see in my eyes that I'm not looking at you on the other side. I'm looking at the words. And so I need to get better at talking to the camera and not to the words. And it seems like it's a small thing, but it's an important thing because you can definitely see where somebody's focus is. And when you're normally doing a video and you're talking to the camera, meaning you're talking to the person on the other side of the camera, you can tell. You can definitely tell. So I need to get better at that, but it has allowed me to more quickly create content. I have a couple of videos where I've already created either outlines or video scripts to make. One of them is kind of a hard video to make because I got to cut video from a couple of live streams, but I want to put together, or I'm going to be putting together a video for the 4090 repair and how it kind of progressed. So I will definitely be doing that. I also am going to be doing an install of Vast. I'll talk a little bit about today, some resources that I found, which is pretty interesting. But I definitely will be doing that. That's a request. I know that won't do well, and that's fine. How-tos, when it's very specific, very rarely do well. Now, over time, it will get views because people will look for things like that. But in the short term, it won't do well, which is fine. Like I said, I understand some content is going to do well and some content won't. I'm actually surprised at how well the fireproof safe content has gone. It's done pretty well, better than I thought. I thought that was going to be a very specific. I've thought about changing the title to be more generic about fireproof safes and documents in general. But my audience generally is more crypto related anyway, so I'm going to leave it like it is because that's really where my intention is at this point. But anyway, so those are a couple of things I have coming down the pipe. I also am planning on doing a overview of the home lab, and then after that, breaking down like specific pieces. In fact, I might do like a 6-month review of the Octominer, which I've already started putting together an outline for that video. Pros, cons, what I like about it, that type of thing. So yeah, that's another one that will be coming down. So definitely have a lot of ideas. Saturday's kind of my day to kick back, relax, let the mind kind of go where it goes and come up with ideas for videos and things like that. That's kind of the way it's been the last couple of weeks. So I do have probably about eight videos, I'd say, in the hopper as far as ideas that I want to do. So right now I was at one every 2 weeks, better than it's been. Now I want to get it to at least one every week, but I want to work my way to doing one every 2 weeks. So the pieces that I've changed, I am no longer using Adobe Premiere Rush, which is like a lesser cost. It costs like $10 a month in order to get Adobe Express, where Adobe Premiere Rush is included. It was okay, but it missed a lot of features that other video editors had. So I came across this video editor called Descript, and I tried it on my last video. And there's some things that were a little frustrating. I call them bugs basically, but for the most part, I really, really liked using it. And the features it allows, it has a stock gallery, so you can pull things from there. It has a number of AI, I call them AI features. I don't know necessarily if they're AI, but what they allow you to do is they allow you to take the ums and ahs out, which reading from a script, I don't really have that problem. But if I decide to work my way back to doing outlines, then it will take that out. It'll also take out pauses. So if you take a long break between one sentence, like sections, I guess, where you kind of think about what the next section is and then go ahead and go through it, you have the ability to do that. So I really, really like that feature. So the way I'm using it, some people use Descript like OBS. I'm not using it like that. I'm still using OBS to create the actual recording itself. Then I upload it into Descript and then use its features to help edit it much more quickly. And yeah, the way I used to have to edit before, I mean, you're talking for a 10-minute video, probably being certainly over an hour, probably close to an hour and a half to edit the video. Trying to take out the ums and ahs and the pauses and all that kind of stuff. With Descript, you're talking under a half an hour. So you're saving at least a third of the time. And that's just with my first go around. I haven't tried some of the other features, like where it will you just tell it to go and it'll give you a first draft, basically, where it's done a lot of the AI features for you right up front. I haven't tried that yet. I haven't allowed it to go that far, but I may try that the next time and see what the result is.
Rupert wants to know what you're looking for in a program for the video, like any specifics you can do.
Oh, so what are you looking for now in a new? Well, the video editing, I'm already using Descript, and so the features that it has are stock images and videos. It has AI editing features, so it'll take the ums and ahs out and the pauses. It also has the ability, now again, I have a teleprompter, so I don't have that problem, but if you were reading something off to the side, it actually has the ability to bring your eyes back, make it look like your eyes are looking at the camera as opposed to looking off to the side. So it has that ability. I've seen varying reviews on that. It also has a studio audio feature on it. I haven't tried that, and I've definitely seen varying reviews on that. But of course, these are really good, YouTubers that are doing this review that have, 100,000 viewers or more, or 100,000 subscribers or more. And so for them, they've already spent the money on good audio. So for them, not a big deal. They don't really need that feature. So you're trying to take good studio audio quality and trying to make it better. Yeah, you would have varying results. So that's basically the things I'm looking for. Obviously making it ease of, cutting and things like that. I will say the cut and move and all that kind of stuff is a little bit more difficult in this than in Adobe Premiere, but it just maybe I'm getting used to the way it works, but it seems like it's an extra click or two in order to make a slice, in order to delete a section, that type of thing. So
Geek says so it has a feature where you upload raw footage, it puts it together, adds B-roll stock footage where it makes sense.
So it doesn't do that all for you. It's just the fact that within this one, so I'm answering Go questions. So it has a feature where you upload raw footage, it pulls all of it together and adds B-roll stock footage where it makes sense. No, I'm still, and maybe I'm still learning everything about it, but no, I'm actually pulling the stock footage from its library and then putting it where it belongs and cutting it to the right length and that type of thing. So if you guys will look at my last video about the fireproof safes, you'll see the results. So like when I don't know, it was a person giving a thumbs up. Oh, and a wagging finger. So, you know, I had to shorten that a little bit. Oh, the person with the shaking their head. No, I had to shorten that. That was definitely much longer. Yeah.
Want to know what it was called again? Which one it is?
It's called Descript. Descript.
And Vanilla Burger wants to know if it gives you googly eyes.
It does not give you googly eyes. It's not a not yet. I'm sure they'll develop that feature eventually. I'm thinking that's more of a TikTok type of feature, not a professional video editor type of feature. Video editing fun. Thank you for the 249 Rudputs. Very, very much appreciated. Now the good thing about making this change. So like I said, I got rid of Adobe Express, and I also got rid of EVMux. So if I do any more lives with interviews, I'm going to try to use, so within Descript, they have a rooms feature. I don't know why that wouldn't work by capturing the screen of the Descript rooms and passing through the desktop audio. I'm thinking that would work. But I don't know. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to try the next time I have something like this. But it was like $25 a month and I'm barely using it. So, and I do have it for another month. So I probably will try to do some type of joint and try to do it within rooms and plan it and try to do it within rooms. If it doesn't work within rooms, I can always switch over to EVMux as a backup. Figures. I canceled it one day before the expiration. And of course they're like, oh, well, sorry, we've already processed your payment. So I've got it for another month, is what it is. But, yeah, so I'll actually be saving a little bit. The other thing is, so this is $24 a month, but if you pay for it on a yearly basis, it's down to $12 a month. Now, if you want additional features above and beyond what I'm using, they have a higher tier, which is $24 a month paid on a yearly basis. So I'm going to try using the $24 monthly, $12 yearly version, package. That was the word I was looking for. And see how it goes from there. There's a few things that you get with the higher tier one, 4K, but I'm not taping in 4K. I'm doing 1080p. So for me, it seems like that package is good for me. So like I said, overall, I think I'll actually be saving money using this as well. So yeah. Let's see. JFA just became a membership. Appreciate it. And Vinny Del Greco gifted 5 max voltage memberships. Very, very much appreciate it. Thank you, Vinny. Let's see. So we have Automatic Beats, Amplifier Gaming, Northern Crypto and Tech, Dr. T, and JFA, also known as Jean-Francois Abin. Just love saying that name. Hey, Amy Lives Crypto. Good to see you. So that's kind of the changes that I've made. Now, one more change I am going to be making, which I did it because trying to read off of my phone is okay, but it's a pain because trying to transfer the stuff, it's not ideal. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm getting a 10-inch screen that will be connected into the computer. I have it. It's coming today sometime, probably sometime before 10 p.m. And that will be what I'll use for the teleprompter. So the good thing about it is that instead of me having to look up to the right, which is what the monitor I usually use for sharing with all of you, I'm able to actually put that on the teleprompter, and then I can talk and do everything on the screen. So I know I'm going to look at that in just a second. I was going to finish my thought. So yeah, so that's kind of the change I'm making. It will also be beneficial for when I'm like reading a script, but also I'm sharing the screen as well. So that I'll still be able to look at the screen and be able to see everything. So looking forward to trying that out today. It's Amazon. I can return it all if I want. So we'll give it a shot and see how it works. But there's, for all you streamers out there, nutty.gg. That's the guy's website. But Nutty, he's on Twitch and YouTube. He has a lot of great ideas on how to improve editing processes and things like that. So yeah, he was talking about you can get a free what the heck, Stream Deck type of thing. It's 6 buttons, but you can get it for your phone. And so you can have a Stream Deck with 6 buttons that you can use. So for recording, you could just be using your phone to stop and replay and all that kind of thing. So that could really improve the process as well. So anyway, I'm looking at ways that I can improve the process and improve the output and create content faster. Actually, just saw an article from somebody saying, how can you create 12 videos in the same time that you normally create one? Haven't looked that over yet, but I'm going to be looking that over. So my whole thing is once I hit record, I'm good. It's the editing process that I always get hung up on. I've had at least a half a dozen videos that I recorded that I never edited. Yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, like I said, looking for things like that. Oh, and I forgot, I actually was going to start playing, background music, cause I got some background music from Smokey Dan as well. So let me start that up. There we go. I got to turn it down though. And if you guys don't like the background music, let me know in the comments and in the chat. I would appreciate it. But I don't know. People talk about, hey, gotta have background music. So figured I'd give it a shot and see what you guys think. So Goat says, I've been asking other YouTubers if I can find a good editor that will give us discounts for editing in bulk. Would you be interested in going in on that? Considering I'm making less than $100 on YouTube right now a month, I think that would be a really, really tough sell. A really tough sell. Red Panda says, I'm going to try this before I leave. I'm going to have like 14 videos to make and edit, so I need that bad. LMAO. Well, I can forward you the article. I'll do that. I'll forward you the article. I'll send it in Discord. And Bacon Egg says, play some 50s music. I'm not that old. Definitely not that old. Not even 60s music. Jeez. Road Puts, that's so easy to make yourself, Max Voltage. Even the rock songs Panda have. I'm sure. I know that Smokey Dan enjoys it. I haven't looked into it. I'm trying to do this. YouTube, as well as trying to find time to do some data analysis courses. And oh yeah, by the way, I got a full-time job as well. So yeah, trying to fit everything in, and obviously, and then manage all the AI stuff, and when something's not rented, trying to get it rented, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah. So yeah, lots of stuff going on, but I've definitely been putting a lot more focus on the YouTube channel and trying to create more content. Oh, and well, let's see what it says back here. 6260. I know you can't see it, but back there shows that 6,260 subscribers. So we are moving up. It's amazing what happens when you actually create content. It's funny how that works. Be honest, you don't have to do it, and it's free. Well, yeah, Smokey Dan does it for me for free. Yes, I don't have to do it. He enjoys doing it. He made something. I asked him. He's like, sure. He was up really late last night making music. I saw that he posted something for Goat, at like 2:30 in the morning. So I'm surprised you're awake, Smokey Dan. But yeah, again, really appreciate you making it. I liked what you did. Oh, you know what? I do have to play the other one you made. I played the wrong intro song. I played the microwave song as the intro by accident instead of the other one. So let me go into my playlist and let me play this, and I'll turn it up so you guys can hear it. It's good. I like it. Let me turn it up first. All right, here we go. No, that's not it. There we go. Bubblegum rock. No, this isn't Yacht Rock.
Welcome to the stream, it's time to go. Max voltage here, putting on a show. Hit that like button, share it with your crew. Comment down below, tell me what's new. Anyways, raise your glass, take a shot in stride. Join the fun where the internet and reality collide. Hit subscribe, don't let this moment pass. Feel the energy, come on, have a blast.
It's a total earworm, by the way.
Live from coast to coast, max voltage here, let's raise a toast. Turn up the volume, let the good times roll. Join the community, let's achieve our goal. Anyways, raise your glass, take a shot in stride. Join the fun where the internet and reality collide. Hit subscribe, don't let this moment pass. Feel the energy, come on, have a blast. From the comments to the likes, we are one big team. Feel the rush, feel the buzz, it's a live stream dream. Together we are stronger, let's make memories. Max voltage here, electrifying like a breeze. Anyways, raise your glass, take a shot in stride. Join the fun where the internet and reality collide. Hit subscribe, don't let this moment pass. Feel the energy, come on, have a blast.
Yeah, it is like a Disney Channel's theme song. All right, let me go back to my background music. I forgot to put it on loop, but I like it. Like I said, it's growing on me a lot. So it's funny because I told him to make it like the Knack, and I wouldn't say it's totally like that, but it's along the same kind of thing, except without all the sexual innuendo that the Knack has. But yeah, it definitely had that same vibe to it. All right, let me go back to my background music and turn it back down so it's background music level. There we go. Okay. So you guys all like it? Because that's going to be my new intro song. Maybe I'll go between that one and the electro one. But yeah. And I actually thought about making like, there's like just the last refrain, making that like my outro to my videos, as well as it's a 30-second bite. Make that my outro, as well as the outro, the full song. I'll make the outro to the, all my live streams. So, anyway, but that won't be for today. The outro will still be the old outro, but yeah. So Geek of All Trades says that music makes me miss the 90s TGIF lineup. What was the 90s TGIF lineup? Which channels?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about a band?
No, like ABC.
Oh.
All the six-
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, and I know what you're talking about now. I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, I appreciate it, Smokey Dan. Definitely appreciate it, and I know the rest of the community does too. And I know you're having fun with it, but still, it helps us. So definitely appreciate it. All right, enough of the things about the channel. Didn't plan on spending like a half an hour to talk about that, but hey, it was fun. Let's talk about the 5090 fiasco. So let's watch a bit about from Gamers Nexus. I have it queued up, so give me a second. And yeah, all I gotta do is hit play, right? Hold on. Yeah, okay, I got that one queued up. All right, let me switch over. There we go. All right. Thank you very much, Northern Crypto and Tech. Appreciate you becoming a member. Really appreciate it. Dr. T, thank you for becoming a member. Did somebody else? Oh, these were all from before. Wow, that is like way delayed. Wow, that's like super delayed. Yeah, I can't rely on that. All right. Wait a minute. Where'd my video go? Did my camera just shut off? Hold on a second. I'm going to go back to the right one. I got to turn on my camera, I think. Hold on. No, I know. It's not. The stream's not dead. Yeah, this is getting hot. That's why.
Full House, Family Matters, etc. Sheesh.
I'm not that old. It is not on a microwave fuse. Oh, yeah, you can see the teleprompter now. There we go. All right. I will, I usually have it hanging over the back, but it's sunny out, so the sun's kind of coming in the window a little bit. And so it's making that area a little bit warm, I think is the problem. But no, it is not on a microwave fuse. All right, let's try that again. All right, here we go. I'm going to hit play. It's all about the 5090 fiasco.
Next up, seemingly taking a page out of Intel's playbook, Nvidia now has some stability concerns as reported online for its 50 series. That'd be the 5090 and 5080 Blackwell GPUs. Tom's Hardware reports that stability issues were initially thought to derive from PCIe 5.0 compatibility problems. The publication notes that other considerations involved a suggested design flaw surrounding Founders Edition cards specifically, causing, quote, PCIe signal integrity degradation, end quote. However, the issue appears to be affecting non-FE cards as well, maybe calling into question that premise, and that's in addition to 5090D, or Dragon GPUs, which are China exclusive. Another theory is that drivers are to blame for this. Elaborating on the issue, Tom's Hardware writes this, quote, several users report GPU initialization failures and black screens after installing the latest drivers from Nvidia. In one instance, the RTX 5080 only works in PCIe 2.0 mode. A driver rollback reportedly solves most of these problems. However, a subset of users report their GPU is no longer recognized by their motherboard or Windows, making it impossible to roll back drivers, end quote. Now, as an aside here, in testing a card that we haven't posted a review for yet, it's a 5080, it's one of the partner models, I ran into a thing where upon reboot after switching to BIOS, it threw an error and it switched to CSM compatibility mode in BIOS. I was able to reset that back to the default off state for what we were using at the time, and then it booted, but it did seem to have that issue where it was just booting into black screens repeatedly until we messed around with that setting. So maybe that'll help someone out there. But there are also limited drivers that support the 50 series right now because it's still new, and so rollbacks are really limited in how much you can roll back. So we used press drivers for the reviews. This is common. The press driver is typically either a final driver that goes out with the public launch, or it is the last version before a public launch, or it's got most of the features, but not 100% of them, or things like that. So it's pretty close to final release. But the point of bringing it up is that for a full launch for a product with a public driver launch, there may be slight differences in there as well. Currently, there doesn't seem to be any sort of consensus, at least at the time we're filming this, as to what's causing the issue. If you're having a problem with stability with the 50...
All right, enough of that. So yeah, so definitely a problem. It was interesting where he just mentioned possible solution, which was, well, possible cause, where somehow it was causing a change in the BIOS from CSM off to CSM on, CSM compatibility mode on. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That was the first time I had heard that. But yeah, there's definitely some issues. definitely some issues. Yeah, it makes me think, you know what? I think I'm not going to try that hard to get a 5090. I think I'm just going to wait. I think that would be prudent. It was actually interesting. Earlier today, I was looking at the Vast forums or Vast Discord, and a bunch of people were getting scalped versions. They were buying scalped versions of the cards, yeah, one guy paid like over $5,000 for the first one and over $4,000 for the second one. I was like, dang, yeah, no thanks. Actually, let me play the last part of this too, because he talks about the pricing of the 50 series as well. And this is pretty outrageous, but typical, honestly, of Asus. This is why I don't like to get Asus, honestly.
For you. All right, next up, on January 30th, Asus officially confirmed pricing of 45090 and 45080 variants to what it says is review media. And it also posted in a Reddit thread via a North America representative. As noted by a Reddit user in a separate thread, less than a week later, it appears that Asus has already increased prices, as seen on its product page at the time of writing this. Depending on the SKU, the originally suggested retail pricing of Asus's 5090 cards ranged from $2,300 to $3,100, which has since increased already to $2,530 to $3,410 at the high end. The original 5080's retail price from Asus ranged from $1,150 to $1,500 and has increased to $1,264 to $1,650 with a so-called special launch pricing of $1,000 for their lowest tier 5080 card. So much for MSRP. We're going to get rid of that. Now it's going to be SLP, I guess. It's the special launch price. What's the long-term price? Who the knows? Nvidia's 5080 MSRP is listed at $1,000 and the 5090 MSRP is $2,000, meaning on the high end, Asus's 5080s and 5090s will cost 65% and 70.5% more, originally 50 and 55%. And on the low end, they'll cost 26% and 26.5% more, originally 15%. Some Reddit users note that Asus increasing its prices from originally announced prices may be caused due to the recent tariffs that we already talked about. And this might support our tinfoil hat theory that we proposed in the paper launch video. I was looking for a tinfoil hat. I don't really have one.
Anyway, I'll summarize that because he takes longer than I do to explain it. But basically, he's saying that they launched before the tariffs so that they could launch at a lower price. That's what his tinfoil hat theory is, which may be true, might be true. I don't know. But again, I thought it was pretty interesting that Asus is being Asus, charging way more than everybody else for basically the same product. I mean, they have a good quality product. I'm not saying they don't, but in the 4000 series, everybody else stepped up their game. Everybody else had a good quality product. So yeah. Anyway, that's what's going on there. You can also catch, there's a bunch of different articles. I didn't pull up the Tom's Hardware article, but there is a video cards article that talks about Nvidia aware of black screen issues. They are investigating it. And then the other comment that he made about limited rollbacks, I don't think they've come out. I think they've just come out with the launch driver. There are no rollbacks unless you are lucky enough to have a press release of the driver. So all these guys that are doing tests, they're doing tests on the press driver right now because this driver is causing problems. So that sucks for anybody that bought these cards. And I know not everybody's having the problems, but it seems to be well, you certainly hope it's a driver related issue and not a board quality or something like that related issue, because that would require a mass recall, mass warranty claim. And we know how hard it is to get these chips. So that would be quite interesting if that were to occur. Well, anyway, more drama I'm sure will ensue. So we'll see. Yeah, Blackwell hasn't exactly been a smooth rollout overall because they had problems with their original Blackwell chips, Blackwell GPUs as well, that they had to resolve. So yeah, so that's what's going on there. Let me check back on the chat. Oh yeah, so I see a comment about salad. I don't see anybody tagging me on anything. The store I pre-ordered my gigabyte from locally raised the price another 500 Canadian, 350 USD. Yeah, see, that's way more than the tariff. The tariff's 10%. It's additional 10%. By the way, guys, there's a possibility they could go up even more. Right now, motherboards and GPUs are under exemption for the 25% tariff. I know I've talked about this before. Come May, that's probably going to go right back into effect because I don't see Trump like extending the exemption. So if he's smart, I think that's kind of what he's just going to do. He's just going to let the exemption expire so that it's not that he put on new tariffs. And so he's hoping probably, and he's probably right, it probably will miss most of the press cycle because he's just letting something expire. He didn't do anything. That's just, to me, that's just smart politics. But we'll see. Crypto Crag is here. Now it's a party. Let's see. Anything else? Give me a Smoky Dan. Just was checking prices and found one site selling the 5090 OC model for 25,000 pounds. We'll take a screenshot and post in Discord. Oh my Lord. So thank you, Panda. I asked Panda, I was like, because he normally goes at 11 a.m. I'm like, are you sure you're going to 4 p.m.? Because I caught him at one point actually posting 4 p.m., but he meant 11 a.m. So that's what I thought maybe he did this time. But no, I don't ask for permission, Panda. But who wants to compete with a massive giveaway when you're streaming? That is suicide. It's a waste of time. So I kind of wanted people to show up to the stream, and I knew that wouldn't necessarily happen if I streamed against your giveaway. So that's the reason why. And like I said, we all try to stay out of each other's way so that the community all comes together on one stream. Anyway, so I haven't gotten it yet from you, Smoky Dan. But when I do, I will keep my eye out for that. All right, background music back on. I forgot to put it back on. All right, so that's pretty much all that news. Let's talk about the market. Actually, first, let's talk about Vast and Salad. So, Salad, holy cow, what happened to you? It is horrible, the returns. Absolutely horrible. 3090s, non-existent. I'm just going to pull this up to show you guys. That's my chart. That is horrible. Absolutely horrible results. So yeah, Salad definitely wilted. Definitely wilted. So I will be taking everything off of Salad because it is a waste of power and a waste of time. Because it is way easier to deploy once you know what you're doing with Vast. There's certainly a learning curve, but once you know how to deploy on Vast, it's easy. It really is easy. And it's kind of a set and forget, unless of course you come across one of their bugs and then you got to bug them to do a cron job on your rig so that they fix it. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. I'm thinking my 6 GPU rig might be falling into that situation. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be switching my 3 3090s over to Vast. The 4070 is just going to come off because I'm trading a 4070 for two 3060 Ti's, and then I'm going to sell the 3060 Ti's. But I'm trading that with my daughter because she wanted to upgrade, and I'm like, yeah, just take my 4070. And then the 4070 Ti is going to go into my computer, and then I'm going to sell that 3070 because EVGAs are selling really, really well. I was looking at pricing for 3070 Ti EVGA for the Win 3, and they're selling for between $350 and $400. Yeah. So those are going to be the ones that I put on first. So I'm going to be bringing up a test rig up here. It's like my mining rig basically, and bring it up here and then just put cards in, make sure all the fans run, make sure it produces video, do some type of stress test on it, make sure the it doesn't heat up too much, and then if it's good, it's good, which I think 90% of my cards are. There's 2 or 3 that I know that were heating up, but I'm not sure if it was because it was in proximity to other cards in the Octo Miner, or if there was a fan issue, or it just needs to be repadded and repasted. So I'll be keeping an eye on those. Specifically, I have a feeling the issue is on my Asus KOs. I've had problems with those fans before where they've died, so that could be the case where 1 or 2 of those fans. I know I've got 1 or 2 of those fans available, so I'll have to see if I need to order more. I did order 2 replacement fan sets for the Gigabyte 4090s, and those are going to be coming probably sometime this week, probably later this week. They are coming from China. They are still in China, so it's going to take about a week to get out of China. But again, they're being transferred over to USPS, and then I'll hopefully get it sometime this week. Then I got to figure out how I'm going to quickly change out and try not to lose too much reliability on my rigs. So, but yeah, that will be happening. But yeah, definitely it'll be nice because I should get around 5,000, I would think, for all those GPUs. I got, let's see, it'll be about 20. Yeah, about 20 GPUs. The only 3000 series I'm keeping are the 3060s and the 3 3060 Ti's that Sunflower Mama got. Other than that, everything else will be sold. So yeah, that's what's going on there. But yeah, Salad is dead as a doornail. Dead as a doornail. All right, let's talk about the market, which actually I think from some of the alerts I've been getting might actually be doing okay today. Let me go up to my watch list. Oh, maybe not. So Bitcoin's pretty flat. Solana's up almost 2%. Chainlink, yeah, there's some things that are up. Litecoin's up 3%. I didn't get an alert on that, but I knew that it was up because I looked. Polkadot's up. Uniswap's up. Let's see. Algorand's up. Yeah, so a bunch of, and I think they were up more earlier. Let me check Litecoin specifically. Yeah, it was up. It was up more earlier. So this is when I was, I think, when some of the things were up, I was getting 5% alerts that things were up 5%. So, but yeah, things not looking too bad. And here was one of the subjects I had for this live stream, and people are like, "Oh man, crypto!" Like they're down in the dumps about crypto. People, where were we 3 months ago, before the election? Actually, I actually was looking at the beginning of January. So the beginning of January, we were at 93,000 for Bitcoin. Now I know we went up to like close to 110. I know that. And it seems like, oh wow, it's just so far away. But we know how quickly things can change. So everybody relax. Everybody relax. As far as the price movement of Bitcoin, everybody can relax. Not a big deal. And so why are we at where why aren't we going higher when we normally would be thinking we'd be going higher? As I said last week, uncertainty, uncertainty, uncertainty. We have so much uncertainty in the markets and in the political environment where things are going. There's so much battle going on within our government, which is going to affect the markets. It's going to affect consumer confidence. Right now, consumer confidence dropped a lot in January, either by the most recent measure. So typically consumer sentiment, consumer confidence typically doesn't tie directly with the market, which is kind of weird. You would think it would. But again, it's just polling people, and people are stupid. When it comes to economics, they just are. So you could be asking anybody, so it doesn't necessarily reflect what their actual purchasing is going to be. But what will affect their purchasing, and this was happening, especially in business, but it was also happening in people's personal spending. People were spending money in anticipation of China tariffs. They didn't know what the tariffs were going to be, but they're like, shoot, I want to buy before prices go up. So there was definitely a lot of people and a lot of businesses that bought early. So right now, there's a tremendous amount of slack in the cycle. So, and in purchasing that we're going to see. We probably won't necessarily see it we might see a little bit in first quarter, but I think first quarter will still see growth because we had the beginning part of January where people were still purchasing based on the fact that tariffs haven't hit. But now that they've hit, second quarter, I think we're going to have a down quarter. The question is, will the third quarter be down, or that would then be the definition of a recession? So by the fourth quarter of this year, we could be in a recession, which would be good and bad, possibly. The problem is the Fed is going to be in a very difficult situation. They're going to be in a situation, or could possibly be in a situation, where the economy is falling, meaning that it's not growing, it's decreasing. And because of the tariffs, inflation will be up. So they'll probably be like, yeah, we're not going to do anything, at least until see if the maybe it only required 2 quarters of slack to have that slack like be drawn back up and then get back to normal spending. So this recession just could be a result of the threat of tariffs. And history, by the way, because I looked this up, Hawley-Smoot-Hawley, depending on who you talk to, Act, which was passed after the Great Depression, or not after the Great Depression, but was passed after the Black Thursday event in 1929. But I recently learned that it was the threat of the Hoots-Smalley Act that made people nervous, which was a partial factor in the market crash of 1929. So, could we see a market crash as a result of the tariffs and threat of tariffs? It's possible. We definitely have seen the markets acting very iffy. Certainly a heck of a lot more volatile than we've seen in the past. But I looked at all markets. All markets since the beginning of January are still up. Not a lot, but they're still up. They're not at all-time highs or anything, but they are still up. So I'm not calling for the sky is falling or anything like that. I'm just saying that be prepared. There's no definitive as to which direction the market's going to hold. And I think, again, we're talking about black swan events. These are the type of black swan events that could basically put a halt on the crypto bull run. It was a black swan event because it was a bad thing, but the last bull run had the pandemic, which was actually a very good thing for crypto because it led to so much influx of money in reduction of interest rates. QE2 was raised, so qualitative easing. I don't necessarily see that happening. A lot of people are calling for qualitative easing could still happen even if interest rates don't change, which could help out the markets and investment and all that kind of stuff, and definitely could help out Bitcoin because it would basically bring the value of the dollar back down. So a lot of unknowns at this point, but those are some possible scenarios where we don't see an increase in Bitcoin. Now, let's go on the happier side of things. Where is it? This was Oh, this was the bad side, right? Yeah, why the outlook of treasury yields remains uncertain. That was talking about a lot of the things. So again, treasury yields are gonna have a big impact on what's going to happen with the markets and with crypto. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I know. So Bitcoin risk losing the 90K to 110K range. Oh, this is the bad part. Where was the good article? I had a good article in here somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. Dang it. I had a good article. Anyway, there was somebody that was predicting like 700K Bitcoin before the end of the year. I was like, what? No way. No way. I mean, I hope. Definitely hope. But no way it'll be 700K before the end of the year. No way. I wish I could find that article. Like I said, I had pulled it up. Let me just see if it's down here. It would be possibly here. Nope, not finding it. Well, anyway, I know that there was an article talking about 700K. So, bottom line is nobody knows for sure, but there's definitely some things that we do know. We know from what we've seen, tariffs are viewed very poorly by the markets. So Trump is continuing to threaten more tariffs on the EU, on additional goods, especially in and out of China. These are all things that are viewed very badly by the market. And what assets are affected greatest by things that are viewed badly by the market is high risk assets, such as crypto. So I truly believe throughout the rest of this month, I think we're going to test the 75,000. I definitely think we're going to test that. I don't think we're going to go below that level personally. Again, not financial advice, but just be prepared. Again, 75,000 isn't the end of the world. We're just going near where the previous all-time highs were. So I still think we're going to hit about 150 this cycle. That's my prediction. So I'm holding until at least we get to 150. I don't think we're going to see, it's definitely not going to see 300. I think we'd be lucky to see 200 this cycle. There's just too many headwinds at this point to be able to see anything close to the increase we saw during the last bull run. And we've seen decreasing returns each bull run as Bitcoin matures, which makes sense. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. There was another person that talked about, I saw this, I wish I can remember which video it was, but he was showing that this is really not similar to the 2021 bull run, that this is much more similar to the 2017 bull run. So I'm going to go back and look at the timing of that and probably make some judgments based upon that. I know history doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but you have to kind of try to make some decisions on what you're going to do based upon what you see out there and how it matches up, correlation, that type of thing. So, all right, let me go back. Oh, it's on Cointelegraph. Thank you. I do remember that. I wish I could remember where the heck I put that article, but let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there it is. It's this one. Bitcoin OG sees 700K BTC price, 16,000 Ethereum in this Valhalla cycle. Yeah. So, but interestingly enough, he talks about this. This is, who is the guy? Bill Barheit, however, a long-time crypto industry executive. And again, whenever I hear it's coming from somebody within crypto, as opposed to somebody who's just more of a general investor, I always think it's biased. You know, you're a crypto insider. Yeah, you're heavily invested in crypto. You want to see it. You want to make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if it doesn't hit 700, you still get people excited about the fact that it might hit 700. But down here, room for a 25% BTC crash. I think so. Bunch of global firms did issue targets of 200,000, which I think is possible. Like I said, I have a lower, not goal, but lower target of 150,000. Yeah, some, however, see pain coming for hodlers first. Among them is Arthur Hayes, former CEO of crypto exchange BitMEX, who this week warned that new administration is not a silver bullet for price growth. Words are hard, as Goat says. As the global community quickly realizes that politics in America didn't change that dramatically just because Trump got elected. Well, I beg to differ because of the tariffs, but the price of cryptos will fall to levels seen in fourth quarter 2024, he wrote in his latest blog post. So, yeah, I think that's definitely within the realm of possibilities. I personally right now am not buying anything. I'm waiting for the next level down. Might regret it. We'll see. But that's where I'm not selling anything though. You know, if I obviously was confident in that, I'd be selling, you know, at least 25% of what I held and then wait for it. So this is just about, I'm not going to buy more into it until I see that lower leg down. All right, but thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yusuf Puss, I was so depressed. Oh, okay. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about. See what I might have missed. Red Panda says, I only have enough cash for like 4 to 6 months of mining. Please no. Yeah, I know. I don't want it to happen. I'm just rather, you know, talk about what the possibilities are. That's all. That's all. Hey, does anybody know if Rapid Mining is going live today? Let me know. Let's see here. When 80% of my IRL friends are broke and living paycheck to paycheck, you know everyone else is hurting. Yes. That's my point. Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Wow.
I know, I just said that out loud. Who knows? Who knows? Logistics can be a very fickle thing because companies can decide to pick up and leave at the drop of a hat. So you better make sure you service them. And hopefully nobody else comes in with a offer they can't refuse type of thing. But yeah, logistics is a cutthroat business. Definitely a cutthroat business. One other thing, as I was thinking about this today, I was looking at another article that was talking about what's tariffed and things like that. And I saw that solar panels are tariffed very high. And this is something I've talked about, and I really think the White House should be looking at things like this. So you have companies like Q-Cells that have, and maybe they have this. I don't know all the details. I'm hoping they do. But Q-Cells built a plant in the United States, in Dalton, Georgia, okay, where they make solar panels for the US market. And they make a lot of them. 2 buildings, completely almost completely automated. The only thing that's not completely automated in one of the buildings is movement of finished product. But from beginning of manufacturing to end of manufacturing is completely automated. So it was really amazing. I got to see it. Was not allowed to take video, so I do not have video of it. But yeah, it was pretty amazing to see. So I don't know if they have the ability to actually bring in the parts that they need to manufacture. If any of it is from China, if they're able to bring it in tariff-free or not. And get an exemption on what they're bringing in. That I'm not sure of. I do know a lot of their raw materials for the panels themselves were manufactured in either Thailand or Vietnam or something like that. Something in Southeast Asia. I don't remember the exact country. But that's the trend I see continuing to go forth. And in fact, I cut it off before I think before he got to it. But Gamers Nexus was talking about the fact that there are already some of the GPU manufacturers that are now making plans to move manufacturing to either Vietnam or Thailand. I don't know why they wouldn't also think about moving to Malaysia. I know Malaysia also has increased manufacturing ability as well now. But anyway, something in Southeast Asia. And so Southeast Asia has become this big economic boom as a result of this trade war. They have really won, as well as Mexico has really been a winner as well, because they have a lot of electronic manufacturing as well. So yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this trade war pans out and see how things change. Oh, one other thing I was going to mention. So people talk about, oh, okay, well, we'll figure it out and then we'll go back to the way things were. Well, let's take agriculture, for example. So agriculture, crops, in other words, was selling, when this was specifically soybeans, they were selling $12 billion worth of soybeans prior to the trade war in first Trump. So they were selling $12 billion. When the tariffs struck, it went down to $4 billion. So 2/3 of where the soybean farmers were shipping their product was gone, just gone. That's why the government stepped in and provided assistance to the farmers. Hopefully using some of the tariffs to, I guess, fund that, although funding it was a hell of a lot more than anyway. But then when they came to an agreement, they had already found other markets. They were already going to Brazil and Ukraine for their soybeans. So only half of that came back. It's only at $8 billion right now. So yeah, trade wars have consequences. And just because you come to some agreement, that doesn't necessarily mean things are going to go back to normal. Countries have to protect themselves by, if you're going to threaten me, then I'm going to look for other options. And when you decide not to threaten me anymore, you know what? I don't want to feel like I'm being threatened. So I am going to go back and make sure that I'm getting a portion of what I get from somewhere else. So you basically reduce that confidence in a trading partner when one of the trading partners decides they're going to declare trade war on another partner. So this is where I'm concerned about tariffs more than anything. I know that we have a trade imbalance and that will have a greater effect on the other country. But when things resume to normal, that doesn't necessarily mean that the trade deficit is going to be any better. So just something to keep in mind. Now with the EU, I haven't done any analysis on it, but that one at least makes a little bit more sense. They have tariffs on some of our products. I don't think we have many tariffs on their products. So they can either cut out tariffing our products so that it's free trade, or then we'll just provide equal tariffs on them. That's what it is on the surface. I've done absolutely no research in that. Just what I've heard from media, right-wing, left-wing media. I haven't really heard anything out of left-wing media, to be honest. I've only heard out of right-wing media, so I'm not sure if that's biased at this point or not, but it is what I have to go on right now. So anyway, let me, Sunflower Mama says, a friend got chickens and figured out at the end of the year, each egg cost her $500. So it's definitely not cheaper just having your own chickens. At least not the first year. Game you smoking Dan. So one time at band camp. So I went to band camp in junior high, so I totally get it. Red Panda, be right back. Kids music class now. Nice. What instrument does he play, Panda? I'd be curious. No, I'm not even gonna do it. I could say something, but that would be completely, never mind. Not even gonna say it. Yusuf, just watch War Room Real America's Voice. Oh yeah, like that's not biased. Sure. Well, first of all, I don't really watch much in the way of news at all. I read, because the written word is less biased than the entertainment. I mean, we have 24-hour news channels. They have to find something to talk about for 24 hours a day. Okay. So what do? They have interviews. There's so much nonsense on quote unquote news channels. They're all entertainment channels, people. They're not news channels. They pander to their audience. CNN, on the other hand, are idiots. They try to pander to everybody by putting the token conservative on there when their main audience is left wing. And it just pisses off the left-wing side. So then they have people that just stop watching them. They need to understand their audience and just pander to their audience so that they stay afloat, you know? But they all pander to their audience for ratings and such. So yeah, I try to look at other sources of information, and even those other sources of information, I vet. This person says, oh yeah, this went up by 15% or this went up by 25%. I go back and look at the source of the data. I'll even give you a really good example. When I was looking at how much we export to China, there was a wide variety of data. I was doing it through ChatGPT. And I asked the question two different ways, but in essence, the same. And one was 130 some odd billion, and another one was 160 odd billion. And I asked ChatGPT, well, that's a pretty wide variety. Why do the numbers not come anywhere close to matching? And they came back and saying, well, 2024 numbers haven't been finalized. So some of these are estimates, and that's why yada, yada. Anyway, so even when you hear the numbers, you may not know whether they're actual numbers or estimates. Like for instance, when we come out with reports, jobs reports, perfect example. They're estimates, people. When they're talking about the previous month, they're estimates. They do it based upon surveys as opposed to real data. It's calling people or sending them a text or whatever. They are based upon surveys. Why are we doing things based upon surveys is beyond me, but it is what we have and it is the system we've used for years. But knowing where the data comes will tell you whether or not you can rely on the data or not. So jobs report, when they come out with a headline number, are honestly useless, absolutely useless. Need to look at what the revisions are for previous months. Those are much closer to the real numbers. Those can even be revised, but those are much, much closer to the real numbers. So question everything, people. Question everything. Preach that for years. Game of Smoky Dan. Flute. Is that what you were gonna... Flute? Okay.
Instrument.
Oh, the instrument. That was not what I was gonna say. It was not flute. It was not flute. I think by you saying that, I think you know what I was gonna say. MSM. Oh, said we were gonna get 10 inches last night. We got 3. Okay, that's a great example. A great example. So there are different weather models. So I'm gonna get a little geeky on weather models right now. There are different weather models. Yeah, I think it's bad now. It's gonna get worse. But anyway, weather models. So are you more likely to tune into the news when they say, coming up at 10, we're going to get 10 inches of snow versus, hey, we're going to get 2 inches of snow? You're going to be more likely to tune in the higher the snow count. As long as they have a plausible deniability as to where they got the quote unquote data from, they are going to always pick the highest number. All meteorologists know the GSM model is GSF. Anyway, what was that? GSF. Okay. Is the wet model. Okay. Meaning that it is always going to predict the higher amount of snow. Now, remarkably, it has actually been right more this year than it has been in any year past. But usually the European model is the more conservative and much more likely to be correct than the other models. So you have to know where the data is coming from. And so, yes, again, news is entertainment. Even your local news is entertainment. They want people to tune in. So, well, No. Oh, if you're saying, yeah, models, they always pick the wrong model. Are you saying that actually, believe it or not, a lot of these women meteorologists are in fact meteorologists. A lot of them are. Not all of them. I know that our Channel 7 Cheryl Butler is not a meteorologist. Cheryl, whatever her last name is. Cheryl Scott. Yeah, she is not a meteorologist. She has some type of weather training, but she's not a meteorologist. But most of them actually are. So, I did cover the 5000 series already. Am I picking up any 5080s? Or I'm definitely not picking up 5080s. If I pick up anything, it'd be 5090s. But honestly, I'm not really going to be paying much attention. I will be going most likely to Micro Center this week to pick up some memory for my daughter. May pick up some keycaps for myself, so I can have like some shine through keycaps. But I haven't decided. I'm going to see if I can get a comparable deal on Amazon and then just have it shipped to her or to me, whichever. And then we're going there next Sunday to have lunch and install the 4070 and the additional memory. So, yeah. All right, let's see what else. Anything else you guys are talking about? Rudeput says it's not news anymore. It's announcement nowadays. Yusuf says, Max, grocery store was packed yesterday. Are you getting it now?
Okay, it was a Saturday before the Super Bowl, so the grocery store was fucking packed anyway,
Yeah.
regardless of the snow.
Yeah, Yusuf, that wouldn't be because of the weather. That's because of the Super Bowl. Yeah, don't go to the grocery store this Saturday, and certainly don't go today, or at least this morning. There's going to be all kinds of, sorry, if you're having a Super Bowl party and so you're going out, guess who's getting sent? The men. Because the women usually, I mean, again, I don't mean to be sexist, but in general, the women are fixing things to get ready for the Super Bowl. They're missing something and they send the men to the grocery store, and the men don't know where the hell things are in the grocery. Yeah, it's amateur hour. You do not want to go to the grocery store today. So, yeah. Speaking as a Gen Xer, Smoky Dan, if my kid one day ever has a one-time at band camp story, I will have succeeded in life. So, Panda, what instrument does your son play? What was that? Oh, yeah, it might be his daughter. Yeah, I don't remember if he has a son or a daughter. So, what instrument? Or do you not want to say? All right, well, we'll wait for that. Do you guys have any other questions for me? Because I have been going about an hour and 20 minutes. I can't believe Panda's not answering. I'm like, inquiring minds want to know. And if inquiring minds, well, and by inquiring minds, I mean mine. And I know he's told me before. I just can't remember. Wow, Alex. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking, and that's what I wasn't going to say because it's kind of racist. Max price of Quai, please. I have no idea. I am not, like I said, I'm completely out of mining right now. Piano. Okay, got it. Hey, I started on piano when I was in first grade, and my parents were like, yeah, everybody says they want to play piano. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. And then when I replied in kindergarten what I wanted to be when I grew up, I said I want to be a pianist. I had to make sure I said that very carefully because all you guys. And so because of that, she's like, fine, we will get a piano. He can take piano lessons. And we actually had 2 piano teachers that were literally within a block. And so I took piano lessons up until 8th grade. And so, yeah, I used to play a lot. I don't play, God, I can't remember the last time I played. But yeah, it was fun. But basically once I, and then in like 4th grade, I started with baritone and then went to tuba. And then I did tuba all the way through junior high and high school, and then did freshman year in college. But then going into sophomore year, I couldn't, I had a conflict with my engineering courses. There was like literally no other time I could take this engineering course. So I asked them, hey, I was first chair, first concert. Can you promote me to second symphonic or let me try out for it? And they're like, no, just a flat out no. And I'm like, fine, screw you. And that was back when University of Illinois, and I think they probably still do, favor their music majors over other majors regardless of ability. The guy who was 3rd chair in concert band got moved up to second symphonic. He's
Nobody knows what that means.
sorry.
It's a band.
There's I already said that it was that was the next band up. I already said that. So he got promoted to the next band up, and I was left out hanging in the wind. So I was like, yep, see ya. That's the way you want to treat people. That's fine. But anyway, alrighty, guys. Any other questions? Gave me a Smoky Dan. PP Piano.
Yeah, because it just throw the band out like 3 times.
Oh, to get it. Oh, I see that. Yeah. What is Pineo? I mean, that's not even a word. How would that be a spell check? How would that be a spell check, Red Panda? That sounds like excuses to me. Definitely sounds like excuses. Gave me a Smoky Dan, also a piano player. You know, it's interesting because when I went to take typing in high school, typing came very easily to me because I already had developed that hand-eye coordination. So that's why I can type fast as a result. Well, thanks. What up next? I appreciate it. Alrighty, guys. Well, I don't see any other questions, so I will let you guys all go and enjoy the rest of your day. If you're going to watch the Super Bowl, enjoy it. I don't remember, I didn't see it if Goat said when his stream was going to be, but keep an eye out for that. He did say he was going to be streaming tonight. It sounded like he was going to possibly make it a viewer call-in, which will be fun. So we'll see. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, if you like this kind of content, please hit the like and subscribe on the way out. I appreciate it. And we will see you again Sunday, and certainly with some type of content coming this week. All right, guys. General is out. Have a good day.